Hello and welcome to Part 7 of MBA Health Group's webinar mini-series on the Meaningful Use Core Measure requirements. My name is Cody Simpson, and I'm an implementation consultant here at MBA. I know you're busy, so let's get started. Today's webinar will focus on measures 14 and 15, exchange key clinical information and protect electronic health information. Meaningful Use Core Measure number 14 is exchange key clinical information. The objective of this measure is for providers to have the capability to exchange key clinical information among providers of care and patients' authorized entities electronically. To meet this measure, at least one test of the technology's capacity to electronically exchange clinical information must be performed. So there are 5 definitions for this measure, but I'm just going to briefly touch on the highlights of each and how they all fit together. So diagnostic test results are defined as all data needed to diagnose and treat disease, and you can see examples on the slide here. In different legal entities, this definition comes into play when you have providers practicing at different locations. So it's important to notice this if that is your situation. The definition of exchange pulls all of these together by stating that clinical information must be sent between different legal entities with distinct certified EHR technology and not between organizations that share a certified EHR technology. The exchange of information requires that the provider must use the standards of certified EHR technology as specified by the Office of the National Coordinator, not the capabilities of uncertified or other event-specific alternative methods for exchanging clinical information. And finally, patient-authorized entities are defined as any individual or organization to which the patient has granted access to their clinical information. You will want to make sure you're legally covered if you're transferring actual patient information to meet this measure. The attestation requirements of this measure is a simple yes-no attestation. Providers must attest yes to having performed at least one test of certified EHR technology's capacity to electronically exchange key clinical information during the EHR reporting period to meet this measure. CMS has also provided some additional information about this measure that I want to share with you today. So CMS states that the transmission of actual patient information is not required for the purposes of a test. The use of test information about a fictional patient that would be identical in form to what would be sent about an actual patient would satisfy this measure. And every payment year requires its own unique test. If multiple providers are using the same certified EHR technology in a shared physical setting, testing would only have to occur once for a given certified EHR technology. And an unsuccessful test will be considered valid for meeting this measure according to CMS. CMS also recently released a couple of FAQs relating to this measure that I want to highlight. Answers identified 2 main things. Number 1, it is acceptable to conduct a test of information exchange for a test environment or test domain. So you can use your test environment instead of your live environment to exchange this information with another entity. And number 2, if multiple providers are using the same certified EHR technology in different physical locations or settings, there must be a single test performed for each physical location and setting. So that's very important and will likely affect a lot of your providers. So it's important to note that as well. So to meet this measure, there are a few things you can do. You can export or send a clinical exchange document, also called a CED. You could generate a referral using the Allscripts referral network with an attached CCD, transition of care summary, or other clinical data. We've seen a lot of our clients using this method to attest for their providers. And you could also work with your local regional extension center for other options. And I'll provide some additional information about these recs at the end of the presentation. Before we move on to the next measure, I want to highlight what your meaningful use status report will look like if you haven't seen one already. The report contains a list of all meaningful use measures, including the goal for that particular measure and your score. This report is generated by the Stimulus Reporting Portal, which is updated each night based on the changes you make in the EHR. It is important to note that the numbering convention on the stimulus report does not match CMS-defined measure numbers. So keep that in mind as you're testing. And also, if you have had the Stimulus Reporting Portal for a while, you will notice that the report looks a little bit different than the first time I showed this report to you. So it's important to make sure you know what measure numbers you're looking at when you are testing. So moving on to our last measure, meaningful use core measure number 15 is protect electronic health information. The objective of this measure is for the provider to protect electronic health information created or maintained by the certified EHR technology through the implementation of appropriate technical capabilities. To meet this measure, the provider should conduct or review a security risk analysis in accordance with the requirements and implement security updates as necessary and correct identified security deficiencies as part of its risk management process. There is one definition for this measure, appropriate technical capabilities. A technical capability would be appropriate if it protected the electronic health information created or maintained by the certified EHR technology. All of these capabilities could be part of the certified EHR technology or outside systems and programs that support the privacy and security of the certified technology. The attestation requirements of this measure are a simple yes-no attestation. Providers must attest yes to having conducted or reviewed a security risk analysis in accordance with the requirements under the appropriate subsection of the HITECH Act, and implemented security updates as necessary, and, as I said, corrected identified security deficiencies prior to or during the EHR reporting period to meet this measure. So wrapping up this last measure, it's important to contact the Regional Extension Center contracted through HHS to work with your geographic location. They can provide additional information, including checklists, sometimes on-site visits to help with this measure. So it's very important for you to be working closely with them, not only just on this measure, but on other meaningful use measures, as they have a lot of information to provide. The link on this slide will take you to a listing of all of the Regional Extension Center. But you could also just Google Regional Extension Center listing to find the same page. I know this is a nasty link here. But moral of the story, it's really important for you to work with your local rec. They are an invaluable resource. I want to thank you so much for your attendance on today's webinar. A recording of today's presentation will be posted to our website. And please do not hesitate to contact us with any questions you may have. We are here to help and are happy to talk to you. Thank you, and this webinar is concluded.